All right, guys, so today we're going to discuss if you have a client. I'm coaching James. We're making another run at something. I don't know what it is.
And consistency.
But anyway, if you're coaching your client and they have a less than optimal position in
Not
the
me,
kipping,
but some people could, is what we're saying.
in the kipping handstand push-up, just some considerations to fix that. And we're not talking about timing here, so let's assume that James's timing is perfect, right? Flexion and extension in the knees, hips, elbows, shoulders, all of that were good, and he's timing everything great. But we're just seeing some inefficiencies in the hip action and extension. So James is going to show us an example of his inefficiency, and we're going to talk through how we're going to fix that problem for James.
Okay,
Cool.
I'll try one inefficient one.
Yep.
Do my best at
Well,
inefficiency.
yeah, your normal kipping handstand push-up.
Oh, okay.
So
And
the
then,
inefficient one.
my normal was one inefficient. Good one, girl.
All right, so what we're going to see here is James being really tight when he's flexing the hips, knees, and he's driving into extension. So that's less than optimal because James is not generating as much power using those positions as he would in the position we're going to walk through. So James, you want to come off the wall really quick? So we could just try to tell our client like, hey James, knees out, push your knees out, do that, be a little bit wider, but that probably won't work. So let's just bring them, let's stand them up, and let's talk about what we want to see while we're inverted, but just in standing. So I'm going to try a couple things with James. So I'm going to say, James, show me your position in push pressing. How would you push press and coordinate with your lower extremities in the push press? Cool. So as you can see, he's not push pressing with his knees together, right? So he's generating a little bit more power, which is going to make the drive out of the push press more powerful and a little bit easier to get that load overhead. If that didn't connect with James, I would say, okay, James, just get in your normal jumping position, and I want to see you jump. Okay, so we're going through the same exact motion.
I was just showing like
The ceilings aren't optimal here.
Slow.
So I'm going to ask James, do you feel the difference in that versus
sure.
the inverted position?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep closed.
So-
and feels closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to make sure, I'm going to ask James to jump with his feet and knees together.
I can't go anywhere.
Boom! So that's what you were doing inverted. So what I want you to do is mimic that position in an inverted position, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Mimic the, knees out just a little bit in your normal athletic jumping stance or your push press stance. Yep, and we're going to see if this fixes it. Almost put a hole in the wall, but it looks pretty good. Nice. Thanks, James.
Yeah. That felt more powerful.
You look powerful.
Thank you.
So those are just a couple examples of some things that you can use as a fix, and you can get a little bit more tactical. And here, me and James are face-to-face, so it's just a little bit easier for us to have this conversation. If you see a video online and you're like, how do I describe this to my client? Think about some ways that you can convey some similar things that I conveyed to James, but in an online setting.